Amandla. Long live the undying spirit of Winnie Mandela. Long live. Long live the undying spirit of Winnie Mandela. Long live. Amandla. Thank you very much. Siyabonga usekela mongameli uGodrich Gadi. Sibonge our Treasurer General, who's also presiding over this session, the TSG, also our leaders who are here, the provincial leadership led by Comrade Colin, our sub-regional leaders, and all the ground forces of the EFF. We want to greet as well our Fundis and our traditional healers and leaders, because as Africans, we exist under the leadership of the traditional leaders. They are the owners of our land, and therefore they must always be given a due regard and due respect. Leadership, fighters, and the people of Secunda and Mpumalanga at large, we gather here today to honor the courage, the sacrifice, and the determination of the women who changed the course of our country's history. On the 9th of August in 1956, over 20,000 women from all walks of life marched to the Union Building in Pretoria. They were led by the fearless Lillian Ngoyi, Helen Joseph, Rahima Musa, and Sophia Williams de Bruyn. They carried with them not just petitions, but the collective defiance of millions of women against the cruel and unjust system. They marched to protest the extension of the apartheid pass law to women, laws designed to humiliate, control, and dehumanize African people in their own land. These women were not only marching against passes, they were marching against poverty, racial injustice, exploitation, and the degradation of African families. Their struggles was not separate from the national struggle. It was central to it. Let us remember that it was working class women, domestic workers, teachers, nurses, mothers, and daughters who marched, who defied the state, who were arrested, harassed, and fired from their jobs for daring to say enough is enough. We salute the revolutionary leaders of Lillian Ngoyi, Helen Joseph, Sophia Williams de Bruyn, and Rahima Musa, just as we honor Charlotte Maxeke, the first black South African woman to graduate with a university degree and a founder of the Bantu Women's League. We celebrate Winnie Madikizela Mandela, who stood unshaken under the brutality of the apartheid regime, who raised her fist even when she was vilified. This woman taught us that revolution without women is no revolution at all. Fighters, it is also very symbolic that today on this important occasion, we gather here in Secunda Mpumalanga at the Lillian Ngoyi Center, a center named after one of the most fearless and visionary women leaders our country has ever known. Lillian Ngoyi was a tireless fighter for the rights of women and workers. She stood before a crowd of thousands on this day in 1956 and asked, "Must we now carry passes like slaves? Must we be treated like criminals in our own land?" That was not just a question. It was a declaration of war against injustice. It is therefore a great honor that we commemorate Women's Day in a space that bears her name and spirit. Secunda, the very town we stand in today, has its own important place in the political and economic history of South Africa, like the Deputy President said. Established in the 1970s as a central site for the operations of Sasol, the apartheid regime state-owned energy giant, Secunda was a symbol of the regime's economic power and its ruthless exploitation of black labor. The coal mines, petrochemical plants, and factories of this area were built on the backs of black workers who were denied proper housing, education, health care, and dignity. Secunda was not only a site of economic production, it was a site of oppression. Like so many industrial zones under apartheid, it created zones of suffering for black people, especially black women who were forced into informal settlements, into insecure jobs, into raising families under conditions of structural poverty. Yet, the rest of South Africa, 30 years into democracy, Mpumalanga continues to face deep challenges for women. This is a province rich in minerals and energy, yet the women who live here still struggle to find safe, decent housing, clean water, access to health care, and jobs that pay a living wage. People in Secunda suffer from health issues caused by the mines and extractive industries because mining and industry here is not done responsibly, and there's been no care at all to take care of the communities in this area. Children are born sick due to pollution, and parents are sick either from the mines and industry of the polluted air and water due to corporate neglect. When these companies get these concessions to mine and withdraw from our land, they are expected to ensure corporate social responsibility, to still care for the land, extract responsibly, and build our communities. However, they refuse to do so, and our government does not even care to hold them responsible because they do not mind getting money in bribes or simply not caring about the people of this land. As long as they live well in their own conditioned houses and cars, while disease of lungs and kidney ravage those who have to live with mine, dams, and polluted air. The clinics are underfunded, the schools are overcrowded, and women still walk long distance for water and firewood, while corporate like Sasol and Glencore extract billions from the soil beneath their feet. This is a province built around fuel and chemicals, but where many women still cook with paraffin. A place rich in energy, but where women struggle for electricity in their home. Mpumalanga is a land where multinational companies mine coal, platinum, chrome, and manganese, but the communities remain trapped in poverty, service delivery failures, and environmental destruction. Women in Mpumalanga still walk kilometers to fetch water, while companies like Sasol drain millions of liters from industrial processes. Women in Nkomazi, in Bushbuckridge, and Tekwani still give birth in overcrowded clinics with too few nurses and little medication. The collapse of health infrastructure in places like Shongwe Hospital and Mpumalanga Hospital has a gendered impact, as it is women who wait in queues for hours, who care for the sick, who die in maternity wards due to neglect and lack of resources. Women in Emalahleni, Carolina, and Delmas breathe toxic air and drink unsafe water, while the children they raise suffer from diseases and developmental challenges. Yet still, the government protects mining profits over human lives. These are not accidents of nature. They are policy choices, and they are killing our people. When we say that the struggle continues, we are talking about women who are still unemployed in a province where most jobs go to the politically connected. Women who have post-matric qualification but remain at home. Women whose businesses are overlooked in government procurement because they do not sleep with politicians. We are talking about farm workers who are underpaid, overworked, and sexually harassed with no protection from labor inspectors or unions. In this province, where the farming economy dominates, women's bodies continue to be used as tools of oppression. This is why the EFF says women's liberation cannot wait. We cannot wait for the Parliamentary Commission. We cannot wait for empty promises during the State of the Nation address speeches. We must organize. We must agitate. We must build a state that protects and empowers women, especially poor black women. Since our formation in 2013, the EFF has placed women at the center of our struggle. We fought for the insourcing of cleaners and security guards at universities and in some municipalities, including Johannesburg, and most of those insourced workers are women. As the EFF, we demand the following: that all clinics in rural Mpumalanga be upgraded and properly staffed, that municipality create safe public spaces for women and children, parks, community halls, safe transport and lighting, that all mining companies operating in Mpumalanga be audited for their compliance with gender equality in employment, procurement, and social investment. Before they declare profit, they must show that their presence here is beneficial to the communities here, not to steal from our soil and also expect our government to take care of the results of their own recklessness. That all provincial departments report annually on women representation in leadership, in management, and the staff complements, and the budget share spent on gender-specific programs. We say to the women of Mpumalanga, the EFF sees you, the EFF hears you, the EFF fights for you. We also say to the men of this province, this is not a women's struggle, it is your struggle too. Your freedom is incomplete if the women around you live in fear, poverty, and silence. As we remember the women who stood up on this day in 1956, let us also take a moment to reflect on the long and painful history of South Africa's domestic workers, the majority of whom are black women. The most exploited women in our society are domestic workers. These women get beaten, these women get harassed, these women get raped in silence because they cannot talk. They are scared that the day they talk, they are going to leave their jobs. And it is this job that is standing between them and poverty. If they lose this job, they run a risk of not getting any other jobs. We say to the domestic workers, under the EFF government, there will never be such experience because we'll audit each and every house to ensure that the rights of women are respected. Comrades, we must make sure that women who work as petrol attendants, women who work in the farms are protected and they raise their children under safe environment. We cannot allow a situation where our children continue to be victims of poverty and as a result, they surrender themselves to nyaube and alcohol. It is not our choice that our people are drowning in alcohol. It is because poverty has forced our people into drugs and alcohol. You want to fight drugs, you want to fight alcohol, you have to create jobs, you have to open the doors of learning and teaching for all of our people. Comrades, we want you to be the owners of the farms in Mpumalanga. Mpumalanga is very rich with agriculture. Mpumalanga is very rich with mining, but women are only involved as laborers. That must come to an end. We want the ownership of farming and mining in Mpumalanga to be owned by the women of this province, to be owned by the young women of this province. This province cannot be a province of victims. It must be a province of people who own the economy of their own country. The strategic means of our economy should be nationalized and benefit the children and the black oppressed women. Comrades, we must make sure that we protect our women in every space we occupy. Women get raped at church, women get raped at school, women get raped at workplaces, get raped at social places, and they do not rape themselves. They are raped by men. Men have to stand up, and by standing up, you don't have to do anything. Just stop raping women. Rape will stop in South Africa. We don't want men who are cowards, who are scared of people their age, who are scared people of their same gender, and they go and exercise their power over the powerless women. No man should lay a hand on a woman. We must protect them, we must respect them, we must provide for them. And any man who doesn't give women money is an irresponsible man. Women have to receive money, especially black women. Why should black women receive money? They were oppressed 3 times more than us as men. And therefore, for triple oppression, we have a duty to compensate them. Because they've gone through pain, they still go through pain. They go through pain because they are black. They go through pain because they are women. They go through pain because they are working class. When you see a black woman, you must know this woman is carrying huge burdens on her shoulder, and give her the necessary support. Comrades, we cannot continue to have a situation where the women who are unemployed are more than men. In South Africa, women are more unemployed than men. We have to change those patterns. Why? Because when you give women jobs, when you give women opportunities, you are guaranteed that they will take care of the poor and the children in our townships and rural areas. But when you give men, some of them are using these resources in an irresponsible way. At the center of defeating poverty should be women empowerment. You empower women, you fight poverty. You empower women, you fight inequality. And therefore, everywhere else where we see a woman employed, we must be very happy that at least more than 10 people are going to be looked after from where she comes from. Comrades, the apartheid government destroyed our families. We must work towards rebuilding our families. We cannot allow a situation where men go and work far from their homes and leave women alone in their own houses. We want a society where families are at the center of the unity of our society. Without family, we will never have a united nation, because unity starts at the level of the family. We are saying to all of men who are not paying maintenance, they must pay maintenance. We are speaking here today. Department of Justice confirmed that as of February 2024, there are over 170,000 incomplete child maintenance applications. This is over 170,000 children left behind. This is over 170,000 women fighting for support to care for their children. This is a crisis, and this government does nothing about it. The EFF government is going to make sure that all men who have children and have neglected them, they are going to pay for the maintenance. And if they do not pay for the maintenance, we are going to blacklist them so that they are not economically active anywhere, so that they can look after their families. We have now beast here. When you don't support your child, you are creating a criminal in our community. These criminals we find in our communities are produced by men who don't pay maintenance. We are not saying love their mother, love your children. You may have a problem with your mother, but do not involve children in your fight as parents. Children are innocent. We must protect them. We must support them to save our society from potential criminals, to save our society from potential people who are going to take drugs, abuse women, and rape your own wife because you have not looked after them. You are the one who's producing the rapists that are going to rape your own children, rape your own women, rape your own parents because you did not take care of your children. Let men stand up today and say, on this day of the Women's Day, I'm going to support my children to protect society from potential criminal. Comrades, we must make sure that everyone who rape our children, like they did with Twe, they must end in jail and they must go to jail for a very long time. We are saying any man who has raped a woman, especially a child, their names must be published everywhere. Their names must be on the wires, so that when you type a name, Julius Malema, it says a rapist. Then you cannot hire such people to go and work with children, because you know they've got a history of raping children. Today, a person rapes a child in Mpumalanga. They find him guilty, sentence the person to 10 years. From there, they release him. He goes and stays in Northern Cape. When he arrives in Northern Cape, he gets a job in a primary school where there are young children there. It should not be allowed. We must fight until their names are published everywhere and these people are known to society. Because these rapists are not written on their faces. These children molesters are not written on their faces. Some of them look innocent. Some of them dresses very nicely. You will not suspect that you are dealing with a monster. We have to have a mechanism in place to expose such people. We want the children to eat at home and even eat at school. And the food we give them at school, it must be proper meal which can be fed to Cyril Ramaphosa. Our children cannot be given the food that cannot be given to the dogs of Ramaphosa. We will not allow that. We need to respect a black child. Let there be food when they enter school in the morning. Let there be food during break. Let there be food after school. Because you don't know whether they are going to eat where they are going or not. You don't know whether they ate in the morning before they came into the school. So we need to close that gap so that children grow up as children. They don't have to go looking for piece jobs like us so that they can feed their families. Today, comrades, we can no longer have children who are working as garden boys. That's why most of our people are saying our children are not gifted. Our children are gifted. They are not given an opportunity to be children. They become adults when they are young. Instead of playing and learning, they are busy working the gardens of those who can afford. The girl child is even worse. For them to survive and have food on the table, they have to sleep with older men so that they can get money to support their own families. Let that old man be government of South Africa. The government must be a sugar daddy and support the children of South Africa so that they don't go to any old man. We need to give them food at school. We need to give them uniform free of charge. What is the point of not giving children uniform free of charge? Because uniform means that you must all look the same, so that no one shows his poverty, no one shows their richness. Those who are poor, they cannot afford to buy uniform. What is even worse, there is VAT on the uniform. taxing the poor of the poorest. Let's give our children free uniform so that when they arrive at school, they are nothing else but children who are there to learn, and they cannot be mocked and be made a joke by others because they do not have shoes. No child should go to school without shoes. We must make sure as EFF Ground Forces that we look after our children and we support the needy until we take over this government and provide for the poor of the poorest. Comrades, we are not talking about something that is impossible. Prisoners get free uniform and they get free shoes. There is no prisoner that walks around prison without shoes. How can they fail to give our children shoes? Should our children become prisoners before they get shoes? We cannot allow that in society. What is even worse, they give police uniform and the boots, yet those police are getting a salary. They give nurses uniform. They provide uniform for people who earn a salary. But the poor of the poorest must buy a uniform. That is a walking contradiction which must be stopped by the EFF. Fighters, we need to stand up and protect Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who exposed corruption in South Africa. These people of drugs and the drugs cartels who have captured politicians, they have not just captured politicians, they make sure that when you report GBV cases, those cases disappear because they've got connection. We want to root out every corrupt policeman in the system of the police. No GBV case must disappear. It must stay there until its conclusion. No child abuse case must disappear. We don't want corrupt police, because with corrupt police and justice system, you must know that the state will no longer be there. And when the state is eroded, when the power of the state is eroded, all of us, including the politicians who are helping criminals to erase the state, our children, our mothers, ourselves, we are going to be raped, and there will not be any police station to go to because the state has been eroded. The power of the state can never be undermined by criminals. We must stand with Mkhwanazi and get rid of these people. We are in the committee in Parliament to investigate these matters that Mkhwanazi has spoken about. You must be rest assured. Julius Malema, we are going to make sure that committee work day and night to make sure that our streets are safe and the integrity of SAPS and prosecuting authority and justice is restored. We want to have confidence in our judges. We want to have confidence in our prosecutors. We want to have confidence in our police. We cannot have confidence in them if we find some rotten potatoes. We need to get rid of the rotten potatoes. Comrades, we are an organization of the people of South Africa, especially the poor of the poorest. Re nyaka gore bonkgono kaofela bona ba thole tšhelete ya motende not less than 4,500 so that they can take care of themselves. It is you, old people, who have built this economy and you have paid nothing. It is time now to pay you back. If we say Secunda, we say Sasol, we say Mpumalanga, we say Johannesburg, you build this economy of South Africa, and there is enough money. There is enough money to give you Abu Gogo free of charge because you deserve it. This money that must come to you is actually being stolen by politicians. You think there is no money. Ramaphosa unotswa saying are, oh, it's a dialogue. Dialogue means he's going to create a meeting where people are going to talk. And that meeting will need 700 million just to talk. We can take that money, give it to social development, to give it to the gogos and the children, and have the dignity of African women restored. Now we are told there is a commission of inquiry on allegations of corners. You can be rest assured that commission will not spend less than 1 billion. So this year alone, if you look at what the commission is going to cost, 1 billion, and the dialogue, 700 million, the combined is 1.7 billion, which must be given to you, the poor of the poorest, is going to go into the pockets of the lawyers, the politically connected, the chosen ones, and the poor will remain poor. We have to make sure that there is no corruption in that commission and there is no corruption in that dialogue. We call upon the bishops of ZCC to look strictly into those matters because they were invited into that commission. If they see money being stolen, they must not say anything. They must just resign. We will know there is something wrong with that dialogue. That's why the bishops are withdrawing from it, because they can never be associated with corrupt things. So we are here to protect the purse of African people and redirect it to the poor of the poorest. Why should people of Mpumalanga pay for water and electricity when there are mines and Sasol and all kinds of industries here which must subsidize the poor of the poor? Aulingkhunu, you are on SASSA database. Utola pension. They must take that data of SASSA and give it to municipality here, governing big, and say these ones are given money by SASSA, which means they are given money by government. And you, governing big, you are government. You can't give them money on the other hand and come at night and steal the same money you gave to them in the name of water and electricity. The beneficiaries of SASSA must never pay for water and electricity, and they must never go and apply to the municipality. We've got their names. How sokola banyakor wena o phelo botsa batho re wa sokola. We are not proud to re a sokola. Hey, tlatsa di form tsa SASSA, o tlatsa di form. Hey, tsamo tlatsa di form tsa re o kreye discount go maspale, o tlatsa di form. Wena o tsama o botsa batho re ampua ke a sokola. No one is proud of that. Re swantse re tlatse di form ai one go SASSA. Anyone who wants to know we are poor, go to SASSA and check our names. You'll find our names there. And you give us what is due to us. Families in the township here in Mpumalanga are headed by children because parents have died. The government must know those families. No child qualifies to head a family. Those families must be identified. Those families must be given food parcels every month. Those children must get money from SASSA so that they concentrate on school, not on looking for food. No one can head a family at a younger age. Even our own parents are struggling to head their own families. Imagine ourselves as children. So we must make sure that we create a caring government which is going to make sure that there is no child-headed family without a proper care from the government. Every ward has got a councillor. Every ward has got a leader. Ward committees. Why can't these ward committees identify those families that are children-headed families and make sure that they are given the necessary things? Fighters, women are killed in Gaza. Children are killed in Gaza. As you sit here today commemorating 9 August, a day of women, remember the children and women of Gaza in Palestine who are bombarded by Israel, killing innocent children, committing genocide in front of the world. We must say enough is enough, because it was the people of Gaza who stood with the women of South Africa during apartheid and said, we are not free until the women of South Africa are free. We must return the favor today and say, we will never celebrate this Women's Day. We will commemorate it, but we dedicate this day to the women and children of Palestine. We say to Israel, stop killing innocent people in Palestine. We say to America, stop enjoying the blood of innocent people. Let there be peace in the whole world. We say to Morocco, return the land of the children of Western Sahara. We want peace in Western Sahara. We want the rights of women and children in Western Sahara protected by international law. The people of Sudan are requesting peace, and they are being killed every day, and no one is speaking about them. The war in Sudan has caused poverty. Children are no longer dying from the bullets of the guns. They are dying from hunger. We must say, as we gather here today, we remember in solidarity with women of Sudan and children of Sudan. Stop killing women in the DRC. DRC is very rich in minerals. DRC can be better than USA alone, yet it doesn't know peace because of its minerals. Women are being raped, children are being killed, weapons of war are sent to DRC by countries like America to go and kill the innocent children. We say, as we commemorate here today, that we are with the people of the oppressed nation, because we know what it means to be oppressed. We know that as children of Winnie Mandela, what she went through, and we don't want to see any other woman going through what Winnie Mandela went through, where Winnie Mandela, a woman, was harassed by white males who were cowards, beat her up, sent her to police station, forced her into police vans, set dogs on her. They put Winnie Mandela in a prison, and they made sure they put her in a solitary confinement in her own cell. Remember, one day she was telling me a story that, Julius, there was a point where I thought I was going to go mad because I was in a cell alone, and I started talking to the ants in the cells because I just wanted to pass time. They wanted to break a black woman. They wanted to break the fighting spirit of a black woman. Because they knew that if Winnie Mandela's spirit is broken, no any other woman will dare stand against the apartheid regime. In that pain, in that suffering, Winnie Mandela said, I will never abandon the struggle of our people. South Africa will have a black president, and that president will be Nelson Mandela, whether you like it or not. Mandela was in prison. It was Winnie Mandela, the woman, who raised Mandela's name. It was Winnie Mandela, the woman, who made the international community to stand up and say, release Nelson Mandela. Our struggle was banned in South Africa. The ANC was not allowed to raise its own flag in South Africa. It was only Winnie Mandela who could take a flag during apartheid of the ANC and raise it very high in defiance of the apartheid government. It is this kind of women that they want you to forget about them. That's why we named our office after Winnie Madikizela Mandela, because we want that name to stay there, because they are offended by that name. Why? Men don't want women who stand up to them. So we are making Winnie to stand up to them even in her death. We are making Winnie to speak from a grave and say, stop the killing of our people, stop the corruption that you are doing. Stop the GNU with the DA and the Freedom Front that killed our people, that jailed Winnie Mandela. She must be turning in a grave that her own comrades have turned their back on their own people. We are saying, if you feel discouraged as a mother, if you feel discouraged as a woman, just look for the EFF office and look up there. You will find a name, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, a woman who never gives up because she understood. And that's what you African women are known for. You are not cowards. You have raised families alone. You were in the forefront of our struggle. You took us to school alone without any means of income. It is you, our mothers, who wake up in the morning and go and sell on the streets so that you can fight and defeat poverty in your families. It is you, the mothers, who stand up every day in the protection of abusive fathers against those who protect these fathers who abuse our children, who abuse our sisters. Women of South Africa, you are brave because it is in you that you are never going to surrender the land of your ancestors for whatever reason. It is you who were carrying people out of this country, sending them to exile without police detecting. And if you listen to the story of each and every person who has gone to exile, they were all sneaked out by women of South Africa. Before you sneaked them out, you took risk of having them sleep in your houses in preparation of the exit the following day. Here in Mpumalanga, it's even worse because those who went to exile, they came through Mpumalanga, into Swaziland, into Mozambique, and many others. It is this province which made sure that it opens gates for our people to be trained and come back to fight for our freedom as South Africa. How can we forget the women of Mpumalanga? That's why we are here today, to honor you and to celebrate you, that your bravery has delivered political freedom. And we require from you that through your determination, deliver economic freedom. You have done it before. You delivered political freedom. You can deliver economic freedom because you are brave. We call on you, the women of Mpumalanga, to stand up again like you did during difficult times and say, our children are not going to sleep with counselors even when they qualify in order to get jobs. We are not going to wait for long years on the queue without getting RDP houses. We want clinics in each and every ward because we want these clinics to operate 24 hours. When you talk healthcare, you talk women. We are saying to the South African government, you must legalize prostitution. No one is going to be raped by police and in the name of being a prostitute. And when she goes to open a case, they can't open a case because they say she's a prostitute. Prostitution is the oldest profession in the whole world. Whether you are right or right, respect those people. They too must have protection and have the workers' right. Fighters who are going to election next year, this Kharsibande, this governing Mbeki belongs to the EFF. We must stop pretending to the ANC. We must get rid of the ANC completely in Mpumalanga. The ANC here won with some 51% in 2024. We should have killed them immediately. Even when they won with 51%, they still don't respect the people of Mpumalanga. In Gauteng, they won with 36%. They still don't respect the people of Gauteng. So this thing of whispering to the ANC that no, if you don't deliver, we'll remove you. They are not hearing you. They are not listening to you. They are continuing business as usual. That's why a minister of police can have a relationship with criminals. But if they were scared, they would have stopped those activities immediately after we put the ANC at 40%. Comrades, it is only the EFF that put the ANC where it is today. Since the formation of the EFF, every election, the ANC has been declining, and that's why you find it where it is today. We are going to make sure that 2026, we remove the ANC government completely, and we elect councillors, and amongst those councillors, not less than 50% of the EFF councillors should be women. Women must be more than 50%. Why? If you go into the membership of the EFF, the women are more than 65% members of the EFF. If you go into these sub-regional conferences, the delegates there are more women. Women also must start sticking together and holding each other's hand and start voting for each other against men. You are a majority. A mayor must be a woman. A councillor must be a woman, because you are the majority. When we say door to door, majority is women. When we say posters, majority is women. When we say rallies, majority is women. When we say let's recruit members, women are the ones in the forefront. But when positions come, it is men in front. It stops today. We want more women on top. We want more women in positions of responsibility. The EFF, women are for the EFF. Amanda! Amanda! Viva! EFF, viva! Tata, EFF, tata! I will EFF, I will! I will EFF, Fumanabo! I will EFF, Fumanabo! I will EFF, Fumanabo! I will EFF Mpumalanga, I will! I will EFF Mpumalanga, I will! Come 2026, come! Come 2026, come! Forward to victory, forward! Forward to victory, forward! How no makubis siaya, siaya. No makubi siaya, siaya. No mabese tubola, besi shaya, besi bopa. No mabese tubola, besi shaya, besi bopa. Kubi, kubi yo, siaya, siaya. Kubi, kubi yo, siaya, siaya. No mabese tubola, besi shaya, besi bopa. No mabese tubola, besi shaya, besi bopa. Who left? Who right? Yamasa. Who left? Kita. Killer man. Kiriwata, Samarumo, Rumo, Asicha. Where were you when I'm shitting? Where were you when I'm dreaming? So fast, Kichi, Emoye, so fast, Kichi, Etlati, Kichi, Kichi, Kichima, Kichi, Kichi, Kichima. Bonke lavant, ibakit. Bonke lavant, ibakit. Siltatile hilagit. Siltatile hilagit. Shoot to kill. Yamasa. Shoot to kill. Kill a man. Brr pa. Pa. Brr pa. Pa. Attention.